The ground drank her blood before the first gunshot had even faded. Wyatt Cole stood motionless, his shadow long in the morning light, hat in hand, boots sunk in the dry red dirt. The wind carried the acrid scent of gunpowder and wild sage, mixing with something far crueler-grief. She had been picking bluebonnets by the fence post, humming to herself. Her name was Clara, his wife, his only tether to a life worth living. And now she lay crumpled beside the stalks, dress-soaked crimson, her mouth still parted like she'd meant to say his name. 3 riders disappeared over the ridge. Laughing. Wyatt didn't scream, he didn't run. He just knelt and touched her cheek, still warm. The badge on his chest, Marshal of Dry Creek, glinted once before he ripped it off and buried it with her that evening beneath the lone cottonwood tree. That was 5 years ago. Since then, Wyatt lived like a ghost, haunting the far edges of the desert in a weather-beaten shack he built with calloused hands and silence. He spoke to no one, rode into town once a month for supplies, paid in silver, and left before the sun fell. His dark eyes, hollow and unreadable, became legend to the children of Dry Creek, the man whose heart died with his wife. The townsfolk stopped asking questions, but something shifted the day the 3:10 train rolled in from Santa Fe. The platform baked under the high sun as a small crowd gathered, mostly farmers and drifters waiting for cargo or kin. Among them, a woman stepped down with effort, boots hitting the boards like punctuation marks. She was large, weathered, and unbothered by the eyes on her patched dress. Her cheeks flushed from the heat, and she dragged a dented tin case behind her like a reluctant pet. Wyatt was already there. Leaning against the post, face in shadow, he watched her with the same stillness he gave to the sky or a wolf passing on the ridge. When she finally noticed him, her expression hardened used to stares. No doubt. You got a name? He asked. The question dropped heavy between them. She hesitated. Josephine. He gave a single nod. You're coming? With me. A murmur passed through the onlookers. Someone chuckled. Someone else whispered. But neither Wyatt nor Josephine acknowledged them. She narrowed her eyes. And if I say no? He held her gaze. Then you get back on that train. Or you find a place that don't care who you are or what you ran from. Josephine looked down at her boots, then at the empty stretch of prairie beyond the town limits. Her jaw set like a woman who'd faced worse. You got horses? 1. I can walk. Wyatt turned and started down the platform without another word. Josephine paused, then followed. They rode out of town 2 hours later. Wyatt in the saddle, Josephine holding to the mule's reins, trudging beside him through the red dust and heat shimmer. No one stopped them. No one dared. By nightfall, they reached the edge of the hills, where the land turned jagged and the sky leaned close. Wyatt pointed to the slope. My place is up there. Ain't much. I don't need much, she replied. He nodded once, then dismounted, letting the silence between them grow roots. As they built a fire beneath the stars, Josephine finally asked, Why me? Wyatt stared into the flames. His voice came, low and rough. Because you looked like someone who knew what it meant to stay standing. She didn't smile. She just nodded, then handed him a cup of boiled coffee. He took it, drank, said nothing, and somewhere in that long silence, a new chapter began, quiet, uncertain, but real. The days rolled by like dust on the wind, quiet, slow, and heavy. Josephine found her rhythm at Wyatt's cabin. She patched the roof where the rain leaked, fed the mule, and cooked with what little the land offered. She never complained. Not about the heat, the wind, or the silence. Wyatt wore like a second skin. Wyatt, for his part, rarely spoke. But he always watched her with a gaze that said he was listening even if words failed him. Some nights they shared a tin of beans beside the fire. Other nights he slept out under the stars, where memories couldn't creep up behind him. Still, something was shifting. Not just in him, but in the land. The animals grew restless. The coyotes howled longer. The wind carried a bitter scent like charred wood and old blood. Josephine felt it in her bones. It came to a head one dry morning. Just after dawn, Wyatt was saddling the horse when the boy rode up. No more than 16, ribs showing through his torn shirt, face pale and streaked with blood. He slumped in. The saddle, like a sack of flour, barely hanging on. Wyatt caught him as he slid down, lowering him to the dirt. Easy now. The boy gripped Wyatt's shirt with blood-stained fingers. They're back, he gasped. Bartley's crew. They hit Jericho Crossing 2 days ago, burned the church. Strung up the sheriff? They're looking for? You're, Wyatt froze. His jaw tightened, eyes narrowing like a wolf scenting danger. Who's left? He asked. Not many, the boy whispered. They got no law. Just fear. Josephine stood in the doorway, arms crossed, her face hard. And what are you planning to do? Wyatt laid the boy down gently and rose. Don't concern you, The hell it don't. She stepped forward. You dragged me outta that town and into your silence. You think I came here to hide? I didn't ask you to come, You didn't have to. The air between them sizzled. The boy groaned. Josephine knelt beside him, brushing hair from his sweat-drenched brow. We can't leave them like this. Wyatt turned, walked to the shed, and returned with a weathered rifle wrapped in oilskin. His fingers lingered on it longer than they should have. Bartley's not just a name to you, she said quietly. He's the one who pulled the trigger, Wyatt replied. 5 years ago, Clara didn't die in a raid. She died in a message. Josephine said. Nothing for a long time. Then softly, then maybe it's time you send one back? Wyatt looked at her. The woman who once limped from a train platform with nothing but a dented case and a defiant stare now stood like an equal strong, steady, unflinching asterisk. She was kind, he said suddenly. My wife, gentle, believed in fixing broken things. Josephine's gaze didn't waver. So fix this. That night, Wyatt unearthed his old star from under a loose floorboard. It still shone, though dulled by time and regret. He ran his thumb over the inscription U.S. Marshal and pocketed it. Josephine packed the mule, rolled cartridges in a canvas satchel, and filled canteens. She moved with purpose, never asking permission. She wasn't riding along to keep him company, she was riding toward something of her own. As the first light touched the canyon walls, Wyatt mounted his horse. Josephine climbed onto the mule beside him, shotgun across her lap. Jericho Crossing's 4 days out, Wyatt said. Hard ride, no guarantee we make it. We'll make it, she said. They turned east, toward the rising sun. And behind them, the wind picked up, stirring ashes and memories. The desert gave no warning. 1 hour out from Jericho Crossing, the sky turned copper. Dust curled off the horizon in angry swirls, and the sun hung low like an omen. Wyatt and Josephine crested a ridge overlooking the town just before dusk. The land below choked with silence. Jericho was dying. Smoke drifted from a half-burned saloon. Horses wandered loose near the corral, wild-eyed and skittish. A man's body hung from the town gate, bloated, swinging, a warning. Josephine muttered, Lord help us. Wyatt didn't flinch. He scanned the rooftops, his rifle already in hand. We go quiet, no hero work. Find who's left, then strike clean. They tied their mounts at the edge of town and crept through side alleys. The buildings groaned in the wind. Windows were shattered. Blood painted the dirt in dull brown streaks. Inside the chapel, 6 townsfolk huddled beneath the altar, faces hollow with hunger and fear. One of them, a silver-haired woman named Maudie, recognized Wyatt immediately. Marshal Cole? She whispered, stunned. You're real? Only when it matters, he said. Maudie's hands trembled as she spoke. They've taken the bank, the jail, and the trading post. Killed anyone who spoke up? There's 8 of them, mo conscience. No fear, Bartley. He sets the fire, but the others fan it. Asterisk Josephine loaded fresh shells into her shotgun. Then let's put that fire out. They made a plan. Just before midnight, the bells tolled once a code from a boy hiding in the bell tower. Bartley's crew had gathered in the saloon, drinking and dealing cards beneath a chandelier stolen from a church. They laughed loud and spat whiskey across the floor. Wyatt walked through the swinging doors alone. Every head turned. Bartley stood behind the bar, polishing a bottle with a rag. His grin spread slow and wide. His gold tooth glint ed. Well, he drawled. Ghost of the Plains walks again. Wyatt didn't blink. It ends tonight, Bartley chuckled. I buried your past, Cole. Thought I'd buried your spine with it. Wyatt's voice was a razor. You remember Clara? That wiped the smirk from Bartley's face. She was sweet, he said. Shame she got in the way. Wyatt's hand moved faster than thought. The first shot exploded. Like thunder. The man nearest Bartley dropped, blood blooming on his chest. Chaos erupted, chairs overturned, glass shattered. Bartley lunged for cover as Josephine burst through the back door, shotgun roaring like Judgment Day. Within seconds, two more of Bartley's men were down. One tried to run Josephine, caught him clean in the spine. Wyatt moved like a machine forged in pain and steel. He ducked a flying bottle, rolled across the floor, and returned fire, striking a man behind the piano. Then silence, just Bartley left. Crouched behind the bar, pistol trembling in his hand, Wyatt stepped over Bada's, boots crunching glass. You killed her because I wouldn't play by your rules. You used her to send a message. Bartley popped up and fired. Missed. Wyatt didn't. The shot cracked through the room. Bartley jerked back, clutching his chest, and collapsed against the shelves of broken bottles. Wyatt stood over him. Message received. Bartley coughed once, blood pooling at his lips. She died for nothing. No, Wyatt said coldly. She died for everything you ain't. Outside, the wind carried the last echoes of gunfire across the plains. Townsfolk crept from hiding, eyes wide, jaws slack. Some wept, some stared. Josephine wiped soot from her cheek and looked at Wyatt. That the last of them? He nodded. For now. They walked into the street, weapons lowered, shadows long in the moonlight. The town wasn't safe yet, but it was free, and for the first time in years, Wyatt Cole didn't feel like a ghost stop by morning. Jericho Crossing was breathing again. Smoke still curled from broken beams, and the bodies had yet to be buried, but the silence was different now, no longer suffocating. It was the silence that follows a storm. Heavy but alive, Wyatt sat on the chapel steps, hat in his hands, boots stained with blood and ash. He watched the sun rise through the haze, painting gold across the ruined street. His rifle lay beside him, silent as a tombstone. Josephine approached with 2 mugs of coffee. Her sleeves rolled up, hands scraped from hauling bodies. She didn't speak, just handed him the tin cup and sat beside him, shoulder to shoulder. For a while, they drank in silence. Finally, Josephine asked, You ever think about what comes after? Wyatt didn't answer right away. He looked out at the townsfolk, Maudie directing men to fix the livery, the bell tower boy helping nail boards over broken windows. Life pushing up from the rubble, stubborn and slow. I used to think revenge would set things right, Wyatt said quietly. But it don't bring her back, just stops the bleeding. Josephine nodded. Sometimes stopping the bleeding is enough, he turned to her. Her face was drawn but fierce, framed by firelight. And grit. She didn't ask for thanks, didn't ask for a future. She'd simply stood by him when the world turned black, and helped him see it could still be lit again. Why'd you really come with me that day? He asked. She took a slow sip of her coffee. You looked like a man too proud to ask for help, and I was a woman with nothing left to lose. He chuckled just once. It was hoarse, unused, but real. I didn't expect to survive it. She added, Neither did I, he said. Later, they helped dig graves beneath the cottonwood. Trees. Wyatt buried Bartley in silence, facing east, no marker. No words. He doesn't deserve a name, Josephine said. He already lost it. Wyatt replied, asterisk as the day wore on, offers came. One man offered Wyatt the Marshal's badge back, holding it out like a sacred relic, asterisk. Wyatt shook his head. Find someone who believes in law more than they fear the past. The man nodded, understanding. When the graves were done and the dead were counted, Wyatt and Josephine saddled up again. The town offered them shelter rooms, meals, even land, but Wyatt declined. Asterisk. There's too many memories in this place, he said. And too much blood in the dirt, asterisk. Where will you go? Maudie asked. Asterisk. Wyatt looked to Josephine. She looked back. There was no need to speak. West, he said. They rode out just before sunset, the horizon a wide blaze of color. The horses moved slow, as if sensing the change in their riders, no longer running from ghosts, but riding toward something unnamed. Asterisk on the ridge, Wyatt paused and looked back one last time. Jericho Crossing lay behind them, battered but not broken. A place scarred by cruelty, stitched back together by grit and kindness. Asterisk. Josephine reached over and touched his arm. You done what you came to do, asterisk. He nodded. Now I gotta figure out who I am without the hate, asterisk. She smiled. Well, I ain't much, but I can help with that. Asterisk. They continued west, side by side, the wind at their backs, asterisk, and as the sky bled orange and purple, the last light catching the dust in long golden streaks, the world felt wide again, unforgiving, yes, but not empty. Asterisk. Wyatt didn't know where the trail would lead, asterisk, but for the first time since Clara fell in the flowers, he didn't dread the journey, asterisk. He just rode.